Today on Judge Faith, it's sister versus brother.
She said it was a loan.
Yes.
What do you say happened?
I get a thing in the mail and it was a $3,000 check. This is a blessing.
A blessing?
I believe this is more
What
of a
is that?
spiritual issue than a financial issue.
So he tells you he has $6,000 and he needs what?
$3,000.
What was he trying to buy?
And later, a cabinet maker tried to make his customer satisfied.
When did she first tell you that there was an issue with your work? When it was finished?
Yeah.
Did you go back and do any additional work?
Oh yeah, I took all the doors and drawer fronts and sanded them down and refinished them.
Did you pay him then?
No.
You have a lot of experience with remodeling, so you're not the typical person that comes in and has absolutely no knowledge.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Carol Tucker is suing her younger brother for defaulting on a loan on their late mother's home. Defendant Byron Tucker says his sister gave him the money as a blessing, not a loan, because he cared for their ill mother until she passed away.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Tucker versus Tucker.
Thank you, Barbara. Carol Tucker?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Byron Tucker,
Yes.
for $3,000 for an unpaid loan?
Yes.
And you say, sir, that this was not a loan, it was a blessing.
It was a
So
blessing.
you do not have to pay it back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll start with you, Ms. Tucker. How do you know Mr. Tucker?
He is my brother.
Okay. Older brother?
No, it was 8 of us. I'm number 4 and he was number 7. We grew up in Detroit, Michigan. He later moved to San Diego. And later after that, I moved to San Diego. Got a job, got a car, got a condo. And
Do you still work now?
No, I'm a retired chemist.
What kind of chemist were you?
I think I was a good one. It was in San Diego, and we analyzed water. Byron left San Diego and moved back to Detroit. He eventually moved into the house with my mother. My mother lived downstairs, he lived upstairs.
Why did you move back to Detroit?
My father passed. My mother's illnesses started coming up. I was the only logical sibling to move back because I wasn't married at the time. And so I moved back to Detroit and started taking care of my mother. And I did that for almost 10 years.
Excuse me? Are you talking about me and you?
Yes. Yes. I'm talking about me and you.
This is a fantasy.
No.
Well, Ms. Tucker, let me hear what he has to say. So you moved back home to take care of your mother for the last 10 years of her life?
Yes, I did.
And that's true, right?
No, it isn't.
Okay. What do you say happened?
First of all, it was not the last 10 years of her life. My mother was healthy and vibrant. She did all kinds of things. She was a square dancer. Eventually, she had kidney problems. And so she needed someone to be there.
And do you still live in Detroit now?
Yes, I do.
So you stayed there.
I stayed there, I wanted to be a part of there. And when my sister did come back after my mother had passed, just to visit, she asked me, how are you doing and what's going on in your life? And I said, I'm trying to get my book done. I want to go back in the prison system, be a counselor, and the dental work I got to get done.
Okay, well, hold on one second. I want her to tell me about how you say it's a $3,000 loan. I know you say it's something else, but tell me how that happened.
He told me that he had $6,000 of what he needed.
What was he trying to buy?
He wanted to buy the house itself.
The house where your mother
Yes, where my
lived.
mother lived.
Okay, and how much was the house?
He told me $9,000, and I think my sister told me the same.
Okay, so he tells you he has $6,000 and he needs what?
$3,000.
Okay, and what do you do?
Knowing that I had the money, I would help him based on something my mother told me. She said that Byron was a great help to her. And she said it sincerely, and I believed her. And that drove me to give him that money. Not give it to him, loan it to him.
She said it was a loan. What do
Yes.
you say happened?
When she came to Detroit, she came up to the apartment, how you doing, how's things going? And I said, I'm kind of depressed because of the fact that I can't get things pushing fast enough, moving forward.
On buying the house?
Not just to buying a house, because I had to get my dental work done, I was working on my book. I mean, these are all things that were important to me. It wasn't just a house, it was what was going on in my life.
Okay.
And so I was under the assumption my sister was trying to help me move my life forward. And so anything that blesses me would be good.
Okay, so
No
what was
matter
the
what.
conversation, ma'am? Ma'am, what was the conversation about the $3,000?
There was no real conversation about the $3,000. She said, I want to help you if I can. She went home, San Diego. 2 weeks later, I get a check in the mail. I get a thing in the mail, and it was a $3,000 check. This is a blessing. Okay, that's why I believe this is more.
A blessing?
I believe.
Why don't you tell me?
I believe this is more.
What is that?
This is more
What
of a
is that?
spiritual issue than a financial issue, because she blessed me, and I believe she gonna get blessed for blessing me, and I wanted her to get blessed. So I didn't want to interrupt the blessing.
In order
from her
to get a
getting.
blessing, Byron, you have to start out with a pure heart.
I got a pure heart.
And I don't think your heart is pure at all.
Ma'am, so, sir, you say that this was a blessing. Did at any point she tell you that this was a loan and she wanted to be paid back the money?
Coming up on Judge Faith, was the money an act of sisterly love?
I was under the assumption that my sister cared about me, wanted me to move forward in my life.
Do you have anything that would prove that it was a loan and not a gift?
I most certainly do.
And later, you can't have it both ways in Judge Faith's court.
Did you write in your answer that you had to get someone else to come in and correct the work?
Yes.
So why did you say that if that didn't happen?
Plaintiff Carol Tucker says her brother owes her money from an unpaid loan. Defendant Byron Tucker believes his sister was blessing him with the money in his time of need.
I was under the assumption that my sister cared about me, wanted me to move forward in my life.
Was there anything said or done at that moment in time when she sent you the $3,000 check that indicated to you that it was a loan that she expected to be repaid?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything, Ms. Tucker, that would prove that it was a loan and not a gift?
I most certainly do.
Do you have the check that you mailed?
Yes, I do. Pay close attention to the memo.
Sir, on the check it says a loan in the memo line. Does it not get any clearer than that?
I didn't pay attention to that.
What do you mean you didn't pay
attention?
attention to it? You saw your name, you saw $3,000, but you didn't pay attention to a loan written in the memo line of the check?
I do not recall.
Because you were more... Now you don't recall.
I don't recall that incident right there when I looked at the check and decided
Mr.
I'd call her.
Mr. Tucker, the memo line does not say a blessing. It says a loan.
Your Honor, I didn't look at the memo line.
Oh, well, wait a minute. We have something else here. You actually signed a contract?
I do not recall, Your Honor.
Is there something wrong with your memory, Mr. Tucker?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
This was only 3 years ago. You
Yes.
don't recall signing a contract dated October 29, 2011?
I do not recall.
Let me show it to you, sir. Maybe that will jog your memory.
Okay.
Is that your signature, sir?
It looks to be my signature, yes.
But you don't remember signing this document? You don't remember signing this
I
document?
may have been so excited at the time, I just...
Mr. Tucker, why are you doing this? Your sister clearly loaned you $3,000. Why are you saying that it wasn't a loan?
I believe this is an issue that goes beyond just the money. It wasn't a financial issue. It was a more of a spiritual issue. I really think my sister wanted to move my life forward and help me get forward.
Sir, she was helping you with a loan, not a gift, a loan. Mr. Tucker, what did you do with the $3,000? Did you buy your mother's home?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
What did you do with the money?
Thank you.
I got my dental work done.
You got $3,000 worth of dental work.
Yes, I did.
I am so done with them.
Would you hand that back to the plaintiff?
May I introduce something else?
Sure.
In 2013, my brother put in a birthday card, "We're doing fine," he and his girlfriend, "and we can begin paying you back."
You don't remember that either?
I do not recall that.
Okay, I've heard enough. Mr. Tucker, I think that you did receive a blessing, sir. You were blessed and highly favored with a $3,000 loan from your sister, one that you are going to have to pay back. Don't try to prey on it. Don't try to rationalize it. Just write her the check, $3,000, verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Plaintiff Chad Hatfield is suing the woman who hired him to design custom kitchen cabinets. He is seeking $2,750, which is the remainder of his fees. He says he had to redo the work free of charge, but the defendant still wasn't happy. Defendant Patricia Atwood says the job was not done to her satisfaction, and she'll need to hire someone else to fix the cabinets. She refuses to pay the remaining fee.
Chad Hatfield, you are suing the defendant Patricia Atwood for $2,750 for money you say she owes you for work you did for her and she didn't pay you for.
Correct.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a cabinet maker.
How long have you been making cabinets?
20 years.
And so at some point you enter into an agreement with the defendant to build cabinets for her?
Yep.
What kind of cabinets?
These would be custom bamboo cabinets.
Kitchen cabinets.
Okay, and why did you end up hiring him?
Well, my brother is down the Bay Area taking care of my mom. He has a rental, and I was in charge of fixing it up for the new tenants.
So this wasn't your home, this was
is
a
not my
rental
home.
that
This
you
is
were
the
fixing
rental.
up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I had gone to the local building supply and picked out these bamboo cabinets, very high end, and had gone through all the specs of laying out the kitchen and figuring out what would work and stuff. And just as I gotten all figured out, my carpenter said he had a friend who had a space in his schedule that he could do it probably faster and the same price.
And he's the person the carpenter was referring
Yes.
to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked at his website. What I really liked about the website, it wasn't just cabinets, it was lots of different things that he's done and a lot of different types of materials.
So who chose bamboo?
I did.
For the, okay.
I did. I had bamboo flooring. I like the sustainability of it. When he came, I said, well, quality is really important to me. I'm willing to pay for it, and I really like good quality.
Did the two of you enter into a written agreement, or was this all verbal?
It was all verbal.
Okay, and what was the agreed upon price?
$5,000.
Okay, and did you get half of that up front?
Yes, I did.
And then you started doing the work. Mm-hmm. He built the cabinets, and you didn't pay him anything else?
I wasn't willing to pay for the remainder, no.
Okay, so when did she first tell you that there was an issue with your work? When it was finished?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to build these?
6 weeks.
Okay, can we look at a photo of them, please? Wow, they look great.
They look beautiful. They really do. From afar, they look beautiful.
So what was the...
Coming up on Judge Faith, is it the defendant's fault for choosing bamboo?
Bamboo splits. That was your choice to use bamboo.
Plaintiff Chad Hatfield believes he did everything he could to please his client. He's suing for the remainder of his fee. Defendant Patricia Atwood claims his work is unprofessional and she'll need to have it redone.
The first email I got was the complaints about lint and debris in the finish.
And runs.
I assured her that that was a light protective coating that I put on after installation.
Which is not.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
That would rub off in time.
And so what did you do when she told you that? Did you go back and do any additional work?
Oh, yeah. I took all the doors and drawer fronts and sanded them down and refinished them.
And did you pay him then?
No.
Okay, what was the problem? What was the problem after that?
Okay, so first of all, it wasn't just what he said about lint and debris. I have remodeled houses. I've won an award for a house that I had done. I don't do the woodwork, but I often do the finish work, and so I know how to put finish on wood.
Okay, so
and
you weren't
his was
satisfied.
not even close. There were so many runs to it. It looked like, excuse my language, but god awful. It was not professional in any way. And so when I met with him, I said that. I mean, we went there and I said, this is not by anybody's standards.
Was that a photo before or after you took the cabinet doors down and redid them?
That's after.
What was the problem after he redid the work? For no additional cost, you just want the rest of the payment, right? Okay. What was the problem then?
That when he put the doors back on, he put in new drill holes that he did not fill. This is one of the cabinets, drawers of the cabinets.
I'll step down and take a look. You can show me what the issue is here.
when he put in new screw holes in, so he hasn't plugged these, right? So now there's holes there. And now look at the crack on both sides. That is definitely structural to the cabinet.
Are you telling me that there were cracks on every drawer?
Not
and
every drawer. You cannot possibly have not noticed it when you installed it or did it. I've done enough woodworking
Okay, and so
to know
what were the...
There's no way you can... So I would like to know from you,
ma'am,
how many of them...
Did you look at the inside of the drawers and did you see that there were cracks?
You can't install them without seeing it.
I tried dialogue through email to meet her at the house to address any concerns she had.
So you never saw the cracks, these cracks that I'm looking at now?
That's typical for bamboo.
I know a little bit about bamboo. Bamboo splits. A lot of people who work in construction don't like to use bamboo because of the splitting.
Correct.
So that's what I want you to explain to me.
Bamboo is actually a grass, it's not a wood, so it was very difficult to work with and frays on the ends, and it has fibers that...
If you were making cabinets, would bamboo be your choice of wood to use? Okay, did you communicate that to her at all?
I did, and...
Absolutely not.
Let me see your photos.
Well, there's one that you can see that the piece of bamboo actually split through. So he's tried to glue it. You can see the glue. There's gaps. So he didn't even do a good job of, once he saw the crack, to glue it up.
Okay, next photo.
And then this shows the damage to the edges of multiple cabinets are.
Well,
it goes all the way down here.
But bamboo splits. That was your choice to use bamboo.
It was. But he never at any point during the production of
you
cabinets...
told me you won an award for remodeling. You seem like you've done this a lot and you have a lot of experience with remodeling. So you're not the typical person that comes in and has absolutely no knowledge in terms of what they want. You seem to be very sure of yourself. You wanted to use bamboo.
So can I address the bamboo for a minute?
No, I've heard enough about that.
No, because you didn't. You didn't hear me.
Actually, I did.
He did not?
I just said I did. We're done. Okay. This is not my first rodeo. I hear these cases all the time, and I tell contractors, when you finish a job, take a photo of your work, because whenever issues like this come up, you want to have proof of your work and what you have done. So here we have an issue which is really...
Can I submit these other pictures?
Don't interrupt me again.
I'm sorry.
Have you had anyone come in and correct the work that you say he did poorly?
I had tenants waiting to get in, so I did not have the opportunity. I will have to.
Okay, at some point, did you write in your answer that you had to get someone else to come in and correct the work?
Yes.
So why did you say that if that didn't happen?
When it happens? Yes, I will have to have somebody come and rebuild the cabinets.
But you have had tenants move in and they're living in there now, and no one's had to come in and correct the work you say was substandard, correct?
That's correct.
I have to make sure that you're not someone who is looking at work and sort of embellishing on minor issues so you don't have to pay him $2,500 of money that you owe. Because it's one thing for you to say, okay, you know what, I think there are some issues here. I'm going to have to find someone to correct this, Judge. This is what it's going to cost to get someone to correct this, and I'll pay him the remainder. If it costs someone $500 or $1,000 to come in and correct this, then I'll pay him the other $1,500. But you didn't do that. You just didn't pay him anything else.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
When I look at the cabinets, they really do look like beautiful cabinets, and it looks like he did a good job. Not only did he do it once, but he did it twice. Yeah, there's a small hole where a nail could have been that can easily be covered up in about 30 seconds. The real issue is with bamboo. I don't like the fact that you didn't pay him anything else. I think he deserved to be paid something for his work. You have tenants living in that home, and the kitchen looks beautiful.
It does.
It looks beautiful.
Afar, but not
and I
close.
think he deserved to be paid for his work, and I think I don't think you're being fair in keeping the entire $2,500 from him. So I'm going to order you to pay him the balance, $2,500 plus court costs. That's before the plaintiff.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.